VIP, we have $0 on everything. So today, we got work to do. It's never gonna happen. You gotta touch it to believe it. You gotta believe it to achieve it. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens by randomness. It has to have intention. That's what real discipline is. And you gotta understand that to be successful, to make a lot of money, you gotta build discipline. I'm gonna go over everything that I do on a day-to-day basis. That's all you're ever gonna need. If you can align a liquidity, high probability areas of liquidity with time, that's all you're gonna need. Good morning everybody. Right now, we're on the balcony. It's about 9:05 in the morning. You probably can't see the view real quick, so I'll show it to you. Just gotta look over to the left. And then you got me right over here. So essentially, what is the vibe for today? Today's Memorial Day week. Well, it's Memorial Day. It was Memorial Day weekend. This weekend, that's why we're here. But we gotta check out this. We gotta check out this hotel by 11 a.m. I was gonna do a VIP session. I was gonna show up for the calls, show up for the charts. But if I were to show you guys the charts, there is no volume. And that's the reason why we're not supposed to trade Memorial Day in the first place. There's no volume. If there's no volume, we're not likely gonna get a good trade. If we can't get a good trade, then it doesn't make no sense to be putting our money at risk. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the goal for today is get content. My girlfriend has work later on, so she has to do that. But I'm definitely gonna be doing a VIP call tonight to make up for the call that we're gonna miss this morning. But at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine. Enjoy the 3-day weekend. I told him you can either enjoy the 3-day weekend or volunteer your money to the markets, because we are literally just not moving. Like, it's one thing to see a setup, but if it doesn't even happen, you're just sitting there, then it doesn't really make no point. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense in reality. But with that being said, that's about to be my day. We gotta head to the gym too. I don't know if we can go to the gym here or at my apartment. I'm not that far from my house. I'm only like 30 minutes away. Look, this is the view. We get 30 minutes away. Quality of life is always able to change. You can always get more, no matter where you are. You can always have a better life. It's just about being able to work for it. But that's what we're about to do. I'm gonna show you guys in my computer, matter of fact, so I can show you a couple of numbers. Like, look, I marked up my charts and everything, and I didn't get nothing. NAS 100, nothing. There's just no volume, but I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the view. If I'm gonna be honest, I might even slide to the pool before we leave. But I don't know, it's still early. We still got about 2 hours here. But we're gonna enjoy it. They're inside. You probably can't even see them, but there I am. VIP, we have $0 on everything. So today, we got work to do. We're starting off with 0. Usually you guys don't see me start off with 0 for the day, just in everything. But we're gonna get to work. So how are we gonna make money today, Anna? What's going on, Brody?
I ain't really interrupting.
How you
I was
good?
wondering what you was doing last night.
Oh, you was there?
I came ready to smoke, but I see the thing. I'm like, damn, we gotta kill it over there.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate that, bro. All right, we about to go ride these bikes. I'm not bringing this camera. I'm gonna bring my phone. Got Luna over here chilling by the laptop. She over here looking like she's trying to take a trade. I ain't gonna lie. We about to go on these bikes. We got like one bike for free for hours, so we're just gonna go rent one of them, and we're just gonna go take it out there into the world, into the wild forest, wild streets of, what would this be? The Causeway? The wild streets of the Causeway? But yeah, that's the vibes today. We gotta go to the car. Oh, we gotta go to the car because we gotta get my hoodie and get our shoes. So we'll see you guys on the other phone. Oh yeah, I got the iPhone camera out here. I got the good old pedal bike getting this light workout, getting some sun. Ah yeah, we made it. Made it to the water. The hotel is right over one of these two. I don't remember. A good little bike, went on a nice little stroll. Now we're gonna try to get to the water without stepping on a shaky rock like she just did. This is dangerous. And now we're starting to leave. Them bikes was fun, I ain't gonna lie. They got us tired. That was a lot of heat, a lot of exercise, but good way to start the morning. Good way, good way. But now we got to get everything going. We got to get up out of here in like 20 minutes. So see you guys at the crib. We're back to the regular schedule program. And we're back at the crib, back in the homes, back at home. I'm gonna put this seatbelt on before we go on this drive. Like a little crumb. I don't know what that was, but I kind of don't want to know. in all reality. But right now, I'm about to slide to my girl's break, and then once I get back, I'm about to slide to the gym. Back to the daily routine like I told you guys. It was fun to be at the hotel. It's fun to be at an area with a good view. Being able to put myself in situations like that is always going to be beneficial because all it does is make me want to work harder. All it does is make me want to record more content. All it does is make me want to become my best self, because knowing I can only be there for a day and I can't afford to stay there every single day for the rest of my life doesn't sit right with me. I want to be there right now. I should be able to stay there. I should have been able to continue staying there if I wanted to, not having to worry about if my girlfriend had to go to work, not having to worry about all these external things that may get in the way, not having to worry about paying extra for my dog to be there. I want to be in the position where I can literally do whatever I want. But until I can like touch it and know that even staying for a day or 2 days, a week is possible, it's never gonna happen. You gotta touch it to believe it. You gotta believe it to achieve it. That's a quote I always told myself. Before I had my Mercedes, I had a picture of me inside of a Mercedes that I saw at an auto show. Like back when I lived in Philadelphia, I don't know if anybody knows, they do like a yearly auto show downtown. And I was sitting in this Mercedes and I posted a picture on my Instagram. I have it still on there right now if you wanna go check, but the caption says, believe it until you achieve it. 4 years later, 5 years later, look what we in. And it's only gonna get bigger and better. But like I said, we're gonna get to the gym after this, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about what we're gonna be looking forward this week. And then we also have that VIP session I'm gonna be doing tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna do it at the crib or if I'm gonna try to go somewhere to give them a nice little view or not. But you'll know when the time comes. Right now, I'm just worrying about continuing to do my daily action steps. I always tell you guys, the daily action steps that you do every single day, the non-negotiables, are gonna build the life that you want. If you want to be fit, if you want to have money, if you want to be disciplined, you got to do things every single day that are only gonna make that a reality, only gonna make sure that you are becoming better every single day in each of those aspects. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens by randomness. It has to have intention. You have to put intention behind everything. Intention behind your content, intention behind your trades, intention behind your work ethic when you're doing something such as selling a service or trying to help someone. There has to be real intention behind it. Without intention, it doesn't mean nothing. Trust me. And for the people that know, you know what I mean. All right, you already know where we at. It's a little dark in here, but it is later at night. I usually go to the gym a little bit earlier in the day, but since my girlfriend had to work later in the day, it is Memorial Day. So I was busy majority of the morning, but nonetheless, we're still here. The main thing you guys just got to understand is not every day is going to be ideal conditions. It's the same thing with, let's just put into an example, when you're a fisherman, and not every day is going to be a good day to go fishing. Not every day is going to be good conditions. Sometimes it's going to be storming, sometimes it's going to be calm. It's going to be better conditions and bad conditions. Not every day you're going to wake up, it's going to be perfect, sunny, everything's going to be amazing. And that, you got to understand that the same thing goes to your daily routine and the daily non-negotiables that you got to do every day. Not every day is going to be as easy to hit the gym when you're supposed to. It's not going to be as easy to hit the gym and feel good. But no matter what, no matter how you feel, you have to do it anyway. That's what real discipline is. And you got to understand that to be successful, to make a lot of money, you got to build discipline. It's not easy. It's not fun, but it's required. Simple as that. You want to be rich, right? That's what you got to do. So let me go grab these weights. Get this workout. I'm ready to go crazy. No cap. Everybody else is out on Memorial Day. Not me. I don't got no friends. No, I'm just playing. I got friends, but none of my friends want to party right now. And that's a good problem to have, because I don't want to party either. Fuck I look like having a party for? I'll go run a hotel and make content. 40-pound weight. Some of you guys might think I'm crazy. I be working on slides, but guess what? I don't care. Here we go, here we go. Oh, don't roll my phone over, wait. But we about to get this workout. I do a full body every day. Every day is full body, legs, shoulders, back, chest, abs, all the above. Every body part that you can see, calves, I'm hitting that shit. Pause, stretches. No cap, now this lighting today is not it. Gotta get these stretches. One thing I've been failing to do as much is stretch. And I've been feeling it in my body. Cause like I won't be sore from the workout, but my arms and stuff will just be in pain in general, just from not stretching and overstressing them and overworking them. I gotta remember to always stretch. That's one thing I definitely don't always do. 100% need to be doing that more. Your body is very important. Shouldn't be doing no dumb shit. No cap, especially cause the only one you got. You don't wanna end up risking it all. You only got one life, we're not a cat. We all got 9 of them. If we had 9 lives, I probably would have been on, I wouldn't be on my first one. I would have taken a lot more risk. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, once I get done here, we got the VIP session. I had a session with them yesterday. It was a chart session, trading session. Today, I would usually not do like a late night session. The majority of the late night sessions tend to be like during, let's say, the weekend, and let's say I'm maybe somewhere cool like Miami, and I think it's cool, I might be able to get a view, then I'll probably do it during the week. But since it's Memorial Day, since we didn't trade, we didn't have a trading session, we usually have a trading session like Monday through Friday, like 4 or 5 days a week. So majority of people kind of were a little sad that we had missed a session, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna give them the value that they need, so we're gonna have a chart session. Yeah, these are the topics that we're gonna be going over for the call. Nothing crazy, but I mainly just wanna go over everything that I do on a day-to-day basis, like my perspective on the market, what my mindset is when I'm looking at the charts, and like what's going through my head essentially when I'm going through the charts. Yeah, they know my process, my step-by-step, but I'm gonna try to even simplify it even more to just really give them the core basics and core fundamentals to what I'm even looking for in a trade. Regardless if you're taking the same trade as me with the same confirmations, why am I taking it? What is the underlying factor behind everything? That's what we're gonna go over tonight, because trading is very hands-on. You gotta be able to see it. I can't just tell you something. Like me being able to talk to you right now is cool and all. Like you might be able to get a good understanding if you already trading, got experience. But for the average person, the average trader, they need a visual. And most people, they're hands-on learners, they're visual learners. I'm the same way, so I can only try to help them as best as possible. I'll be back. I low-key just changed one of the settings in the camera. This may make the quality just a little bit better. I'm not sure. I don't know. We're gonna see, but I do know it's gonna be taking up way more space, so we're not gonna be doing too much yapping. But with that being said, I'm just gonna finish this workout, continue getting these gains, continue trying to be 1% better every day, because I come to the gym knowing every single day that I'm not gonna become humongous and look like the Incredible Hulk tomorrow. I come here to build the discipline, to build the consistency, and also to show you guys living proof. I may not be husky overnight, but if you're still watching me in 5, 10 years, you're gonna see the growth. If you're still watching in 5, 10 months from now, you're gonna see the growth. I promise you that, and I'm just documenting the process. That's all this is. Main things I'm just gonna be going over is like my trade style, how I approach the markets, and what I'm looking for in price and the charts. It's fine, but you gotta understand that that's not gonna help you make more money. You gotta just focus on the process itself. But that's what we're gonna be going over today, liquidity, and essentially what my process is when I come to the charts, what I'm looking for when I'm getting in and out of trades. Liquidity is everything. If there's one thing that I guarantee that you're gonna be able to learn that like will change your whole entire trading forever, is liquidity, because the market is liquidity. All we have is time and price. And if you can align liquidity with time, that's all you're ever gonna need. If you can align a liquidity, high probability areas of liquidity with time, that's all you're gonna need. And that's what we're gonna talk about for the rest of this session. So essentially, to keep it simple with my trades, all I'm ever really looking for is I'm either looking for price to have a retracement to continue going a certain direction, or I'm looking for price to have a reversal from an area to continue in a certain direction. Now, I'm not sure how many of you were paying attention in the chat earlier when Krabs, he was asking essentially, he was basically asking, I'm trying to think the exact question it was. Kind of like having a brain fart real quick. But he was essentially asking if you should follow the trend when looking for false breaks. Now, what is a false break? This is a false break right over here. I have these labeled as 1 and 2, just to make it a little bit easier. So it's 2 over here. This is a false break. What is a false break? False break is when price is consolidating and then runs to old high or low and then goes the other direction. Vice versa, if this were to be upside down, if price were to consolidate, run the low, and then go the other direction, that is a false break. Those are setups that I love to take. And a good example of that would be happening would be literally earlier today. What happened? Price ran above this high, and what happened? It came back lower. If I were to just simply draw out what happened, we had a high, price went above it, and came below. This is like exactly what this is right here on number 2. That's exactly what price did up here. And there's a reason that it did the exact same thing, because for the people that are new, you got to understand that the market is going to do the same thing every single day, every single week, every single month. And I don't mean the exact same thing, but the market is on repeat. It does the same exact things over and over and over. Do you think that there's people right now trading on Wall Street? No, it's 9 o'clock. But the market is still doing the same things that it does every day. It moves from algorithms. There's a computer behind it all. The only reason that we're even able to spot things that happen all the time, repeatedly happening all the time is because it keeps happening all the time. And the only reason it keeps happening all the time to the same exact like like the same thing is because it's algorithms behind it. If it was a human, we can't do something perfect every time, but you know what can? A computer. But that's a false break. False breaks is one of the main ways that I like to get into the market. Now, you can either look for a false break to continue a trend. So say, for example, price has already been moving down. We start consolidating, and then you know you want to continue going lower. So you wait for a false break to continue that trend down. That's one way you could do it. But there's also situations where price could be going up. Price could have been going up this entire time, and then you get a false break that ends up leading to a full reversal on that whole entire trend. Either is possible, but the main thing you got to understand is the only thing we can ever control is the entry. This is the only thing we can ever control. But that's a false break number two. Number one, this is just like a fair value gut fill. This is essentially the easiest way to get into a trade, in my opinion. Wait for the market to go a certain direction, to show its willingness to go a certain direction, and then wait for it to have a pullback. That is going to be one of the safer ways to get into trades. But in my opinion, these trades, I tend to miss them more often than less. I more often times can get a trade with this number two setup with the false break more times than getting this retracement move right here. And the same thing that can happen early, like I said with this. Most of the time, you would ideally want to see this as something where it's following the trend, where price has already been pushing higher and then it has a retracement. You usually want to follow the trend because at the end of the day, all trading is based off of probabilities. We just want to be able to put our money in an environment or in a situation that makes sense, that has the highest chance of us making money. If we want to be able to replace our 9 to 5, if we want to be able to replace our job, we got to find at least one or two setups that can keep happening over and over and over and over and give us a high chance of being able to make money. That's all we got to do. It's not complicated behind it, but the complication comes from everything in between. You can have your system, your strategy, your risk management plan, but then when you're actually in that moment and you're supposed to follow it and you have to deal with the emotions, that's when everything starts to get all fucked over. But the main thing focusing on first is getting that process and system down. Because once you can figure out your process, everything after that is just improving, building off of it. Now, these two trade ideas right here, this is the only thing that I really look for on a day-to-day basis. I may be watching things such as the previous day's high, previous day's lows, but why am I watching them? The only reason I'm watching them is for either that is my area that I'm going to target for a potential trade like this, like a previous day's high. These lines that I'm about to draw, we could just use them as a pretend like they're the previous day's high. A previous day's high could be something that I'm using to target. For an example like this, maybe I get a false break trade. That previous day's low will be something I could either use as a target, or that previous day's high or low could be the area that I'm watching as that false break area. You get what I'm saying? Vice versa on this setup over here. If I'm looking for price to have a retracement into a gap to see price go higher, I may be looking to target a previous day's high up here, or maybe price where I had this retracement is retracing into a previous day's high from, say, something maybe like over here. You know what I mean? It's very situational in like certain situations, but that's why I do something that's very repetitive. No matter what the day is, no matter what it is, I could do the same exact thing every single day. There's a process behind it. What is that process? For one, you guys already know this process, but I'm gonna do it and show you, write it down just for the people that maybe don't know. The first thing I do every single time is I mark up the previous day's highs and previous day's lows. Why? Because if I'm looking for a false break at the previous day's highs and previous day's lows, that is going to be a high probability area for false breaks to happen when it's aligned with time. That's the key thing. I want you guys to remember, if there's one thing you remember from this call, is time is everything. Time is everything. You can have the perfect trade idea, looking beautiful, but if it's not at the right time, it doesn't mean shit. Time is literally everything. You can have the perfect trade idea set up at 7 in the morning, but since it's not 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. yet, it can consolidate and then move when that time comes. And you just sat there for 2 hours getting emotions, losing confidence in your system and your trade for nothing because you didn't wait for time. Why is time important? Because time brings volume. Why is volume important? Because if we want to be able to get in and out of a trade, get in and out of a high probability trade, we need volume. It's just simple as that. But the first thing I always do is mark up the previous day's highs and lows. The previous day's highs and lows is either an area I could watch for a trade, I could watch for price to target it, but that's really it.
I have this area marked up because that is something I'm pointing my eyes to, because that is what is important. I'm not marking up things that I'm not using. I'm not marking up things that I'm not going to pay attention to. I'm only marking up things that I want to point my focus to and things that I know have a importance. I'm not marking up stuff that is useless to me. That's why I don't use indicators. That's why I don't have stuff that doesn't necessarily matter. I used to use order blocks. I used to use a whole bunch of different concepts. I used to mark up the 12 a.m. open line. A whole bunch of different things that do work. Any system works. You can make anything work. But it's a matter of what's going to work for you. And me, the simpler I'm trading, the simpler I'm making my charts, the better it is. And more times than less, I would say that's better for majority of people, because once you start having all these different things on your charts, you're going to start overcomplicating the system. And it's not complicated. I trust me, anybody that's been trading more than 2-3 years can tell you that trading is not complicated. In the beginning, it seems more complicated because you're constantly taking in a lot of information, a lot of new information at that, but it's not complicated. Us as humans tend to overcomplicate it. But after the previous day's highs and lows are marked up, because I'm using them as either an area that I'm going to look for an entry or an area that I'm going to be using as a target, I always mark up the Asian session. The Asian session high and low also. The same reason I mark up the previous day's highs and lows is the same reason I mark up the Asian session highs and lows. And what is the Asian session high or low? If I were to go all the way over here onto my charts, all you guys see these like this shaded area, that's the Asian session. And I always have it marked up. I always have it marked up for me. Why do I always have the Asian session marked up for me? It's the same thing with the previous day's high. The previous day's high is one of the things that I always have marked up, but there's a reason behind it. Why do I always have it marked up? Why is it all the way over there? There we go. But the Asian session high and low, all it is another area of high probability liquidity. All it is another area that I could either be watching for an entry or I could be watching for a target. Simple as that. That's literally the only reason I mark these things up. You guys may think, why does he have these highs or lows marked up? Why does he have this box marked up? I'm literally only using that as the area I'm going to be looking to take a trade depending on what the trend is, or that's going to be an area I'm going to be looking to target depending on what the trend is. It's really not complicated. Trust me. That's why I always tell you guys to ask questions, because until you ask questions, you may be thinking I'm having this whole complicated like thesis in my head, like this times this is that, this with this time plus this indicator plus this indication plus this confirmation means I'm gonna win this trade. No, I promise you, I will literally look at the time like, oh, it's 9:30. We're at this high. I'll take the trade, and then that shit will hit TP2, and then you'll be like, damn, how'd you know that? I'm just like, hey, I don't even know how I knew that. Like, it'll literally be like that type shit. But the main thing that you got to understand is that there's a system behind it. I do the same things every day. And when I see the results from doing those things, it's only going to build my confidence to want to do it again. That's going to allow me to have confidence when I do it again.
All right, just like that, we done with it. I ain't gonna lie, this mic is dead, so you're probably hearing me from the camera mic. All right, and the camera died in the last clip too. So the camera died and the mic died. It was great timing. But essentially, that was the VIP session we just did. I'm gonna give you guys a good portion of it. I'll probably give you about 10 to 15 minutes of that from the whole 1 hour session that I did, just so you guys can actually see what it's like. If you want to actually join it, make sure you join the link. You already know what the link's gonna be. And also with the free course is gonna teach you a whole bunch of stuff and dive deeper on the same exact concept. The course is more in depth than that, if I'm being honest, because there's more things on that specific topic: gaps, false breaks, all of that stuff. You can check out the free course. It's also in the description. And once you're actually ready to use it, because without experience, like I told you guys multiple times, without experience and actually going through trial and error wins and losses, you're not really going to build the confidence to use the system. So make sure you get the demo trade from Hanko Trade. All the links are in the description at the end of the day, but this is where the video is going to come to an end because it's 10:50 right now. Matter of fact, before we end it, I told you guys in the beginning of the video, we started off with $0 for VIP sales. Nothing crazy. We ended the day off at 125 with VIP sales, and that's with no trading today since it was Memorial Day, so not bad. That's why it's important to build multiple incomes around one skill set. I talked about this in yesterday's VIP session. I probably put a little bit in the vlog also, but you got to build multiple incomes around one skill. You got to leverage the one skill. You can turn one skill into 5 incomes, 2 skills into 10 incomes. Simple as that. But enough with the yapping. Stay safe, stay productive, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.